I'm Carolyn Young, Chief Executive at Retail NZ, and welcome to today's episode where we'll be discussing the new Gang Legislation Amendment Bill, which came into effect on the 21st of November. We expect this episode to take about 10 minutes, so grab a coffee, take a break to hear more about the new gang legislation. And today I'm joined by Matt Tierney, who's the manager of the National Retail Investigation Support Unit with New Zealand Police. Kia ora, Matt, and welcome.
Kia ora, Caroline. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. Look, the Gang Legislation Amendment Bill aims to reduce the harm caused by gangs and make communities safer. It's a focus to reduce the harmful behaviour that gangs engage in and directly target gang activity. So I guess, can you tell us a little bit about what does the new legislation mean for retailers and what does it mean that they can do in their stores?
Yeah, so as of today, as of 12:01 this morning, the new gang legislation came into force for the police, but also for the public as a whole. And largely, as you said, what it is used to be is to disrupt the intimidation and fear tactics that the gangs have spread through the use of gang insignia and other things as well. But really, what it allows us to do is speak to the gang members, remove their gang patches, arrest them, and put them before the courts in relation to that. They need to be in a public place, but most retailers probably be able to argue quite effectively that their stores are public places, being that anybody can enter.
Yep.
It also gives us powers to deal with known gang members that are causing intimidation or threats. If they're in a group of more than 3, we can issue them with dispersal orders so that they can't congregate together or in that place for the next following 7 days. And again, if they do that, or if they don't comply with those orders, they will be arrested, they will be put before the courts, and they will be held to account for that. So it's all around them not displaying their insignia or threatening or intimidating as well.
So if a retailer has a gang member come in store with a patch on, they could ask them to leave, could they?
Well, it's a timely reminder that we should always, as retailers, have those notes on our doors around conditions of entry, and most retailers have on there that the gang patches are not welcome or tolerated inside the store. So maybe have a look at refreshing those signs. But certainly you can ask them to leave if you'd like, if you feel comfortable to do so. Otherwise, feel free to call 111 and advise that there is a patched gang member inside your store, and police will come. We have a significant staffing resources devoted to this operation. We want to make sure that this new legislation is a success, and it will be fully supported by police. There is a zero tolerance approach being taken to it. There will be no warnings given. There will be no formal cautions given. It's simply, there's no summonsing in relation to it. It is an arrest.
Yep.
You go before court. That's your only option.
Yeah. Look, I grew up in Masterton, as most people know, and there was a lot of gang issues when I grew up. And they used to intimidate everybody down Queen Street in Masterton. And they, back in the day, in the early 70s, they forbid people to wear gang patches. If you live in an area where there are prominent gangs, would you recommend that retailers maybe engage with police in advance around what support they can be given? Because quite difficult to confront someone with a patch on, right? I know the whole point is to remove that confrontation and that the way in which they can be overwhelming in the area. But I mean, to be able to go up to someone and ask them to leave or to take their patch off is a really difficult thing for a member of the public to do.
Yeah, and I wouldn't advocate for them to do that. That's probably only going to end in one way. So absolutely, you should always know your local police anyway. The hope is that they would have already reached out and explained to you what to do and what their response was going to be in relation to this. One thing I would like to just reiterate here at the moment is that if you may call police, we definitely will turn up. We may not do the thing that you think we're going to do. So if, say, there are more gang members than we have police staff available, say, for example, we may resort to taking photographs and recording images of those people and then monitor them until they leave, as long as they're not doing any other criminal activity.
Yeah.
What will then subsequently happen is that we will execute search warrants at their places of residence in the following days, and they will be literally done, the preceding days after that, to recover the gang insignia, but also to charge those people for those breaches as well. So just wanted to reiterate that it may not always work out the same way that you think it's going to work out, but we definitely will be taking action against these people.
Yeah, so action will take place and it may be immediately police should turn up, they may observe and then action later, or they may take action in there. Look, one of the things I do know is you have got some resources available to everyone, really. They're publicly available on your website, and we'll share them out amongst retailers, where it kind of describes what this legislation means in a visual way. Did you want to go through this with us, Matt?
I think they're really important, really easy to understand. Can I wear my gang insignia at home? Well, as long as it's within a private place, yes, you can. A gang insignia can be worn within a private place. There's nothing to preclude that, unless there is a subsequent order in court that a court has ordered that they can't do that, and that may happen in preceding time. But at the moment, no, they can wear their gang insignia inside a private residence. The second one, you absolutely cannot wear your gang insignia to any of those places. As you can see, they're totally at a public place. They will be arrested and charged or dealt with via search warrant later on. The insignia in the car, you can have it in the car as long as it's not being displayed, because a car can be argued that is in a public place. If it's clearly visible from you standing outside the car into the car, well, that's going to be a different story, and there'll be very likely an arrest made. If they have a gang symbol on a vehicle of any description, we will be confiscating the vehicle from that person.
So really strong, right? And we will circulate these and have a link on the video for you, but really strong legislation and strongly worded to ensure that we get, positive outcomes for people and communities, to ensure that they're safe places to be. In terms of ongoing monitoring, if somebody's been arrested or been in a store, and will there be ongoing monitoring, or if they've gone to court, that's kind of final? There's what happens, I guess, from there.
We have gang disruption units that are going to be monitoring for periods of time, that's for sure, in relation to these gang members, to make sure that they're complying with the law or any subsequent court orders that are given as a result of these as well. So you will have seen in the media that there has been 2 arrests already, being that it's 3 o'clock on the first day. So there will be more arrests. There's no two ways about it, but we want to ensure that the community understand that we are treating this with a very firm hand. We will be there, so please call us.
Yeah. So look, we'll have more information on our website, and we'll make sure that it's really available, and we'll have it on through Talking Shop. Otherwise people would just go to the police website at www.police.govt.nz.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Look, really important piece of legislation for us to all feel safer in our stores. We know that organised crime is a really big part of retail crime. So whatever you can do to support the wider community, and get in touch with police if you see someone with a gang insignia in your local retail outlet or in the vicinity. Thank you so much, Matt, for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. I always love catching up with you and hearing about the great work that the police are doing to support the retail sector. So on behalf of retail, thank you very much. Special thanks to our Retail NZ partners, Westpac, Z Energy, Meridian and MasterCard and Visa, whose support enables us to keep you up to date with everything retail. And then finally, thanks for taking some time out to join us today, but don't forget to subscribe to Retail Unplugged on your preferred channel so you can keep up to date with all the current industry knowledge. So until next time, ka kite anō, bye for now. Kia ora.